And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, BRimes.
And welcome to the show. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. Thank you for supporting the Consumer Quarterback Show and all of our expert contributors. We got Mark Haye in the house, 21st Century Financial, and there is no shortage of news in this cycle. We're going to talk about kind of a wrap on tax season. Mark's going to comment on that. Also, a stock market update. What's the effect of all this tariff talk and all these things in the news? We're going to break that down for you. Mark Haye in studio. Bruce Woodburn also by phone calling in. Cross Country Mortgage. He is the loan arranger. We're going to talk with him about the mortgage market, what's going on in housing, and more. Also, interesting, a federal judge rules in favor of Missouri in a $24 billion lawsuit against China for COVID-19, a.k.a. the China virus. We're going to talk about that. Also, interesting, too, Elon Musk Doge said it identified nearly 5,600 SBA loans to borrowers whose only listed owner was 11 years old or younger. So it's unclear what the money was used for. It sounds like fraud to me, Mark. There's a lot going on. Also, you got the top 5. We're going to tease this one. The top 5 richest people in the world coming up as well here on today's show. Before we do a couple of hot listings here, we like to feature our listings. Also, I almost forgot, Dave, we got a party coming up, man.
We most certainly do.
Coming up on the 20th, March 20th, Thursday, March 20th, 6 o'clock.
Yeah, absolutely. Over at the Tarpon Turtle this time. It's going to be at 1513 Lake Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs. Great ambiance. The views are outstanding. I know this time you're planning on having a pontoon boat there like the last time. So with the new time change, we're going to get some good sunset rides in there even after the appetizers, which are provided by Platinum MVP as well. So March 20th, Thursday, always a good time. Great time to actually connect with some of the show guests, the affiliates, and the partners that are actually on there. Good networking.
Yeah, great networking. Come on out. Bring any questions you have. We might get Mark over there at some point. Mark Haye, can you join us this time? What do you think?
I will not be able to join you. It's tomorrow or Thursday?
No, it's next Thursday. Yeah.
Possibly next Thursday.
Possible. Okay. We got a possible from Mark Haye, 21st Century Financial. We're going to talk with him here in just a moment. Also, big news, BlackRock. New bill aims to curb corporate ownership in Florida. I reached out to our friend Representative Bernie Jacques about the talk in the news, so we're going to touch base on that as well. So as we mentioned, jam-packed show coming up here on the program. Got a hot new listing. We'll let you know about our commercial listing here on Maricamp Road in Ocala, Florida. This is a great opportunity, 9594 Southeast Maricamp Road in Ocala. What we have here is 5,725 square foot building. You have almost an acre of land, just shy of 1 acre, retail, and it's currently operating as a hardware store. So bring your offers. This is a great opportunity. It's a thriving hardware store, lucrative income streams in booming Silver Spring Shores. So great opportunity in Tampa Bay, Ocala, Florida. You also have 2 rentable sections in the back that provide steady lease revenue. The owner's also renting out space in the back for some rigs, some big truckers parking their rigs back there. He's got cash flow coming in. Also has great office space there. Seller financing available with a strong down payment. 9594 Southeast Maricamp Road, Ocala, Florida. Another one of our commercial listings from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. 17416 Magnolia Island Boulevard. Beautiful listing from Jamie on our team. This is 5 bedrooms, 3 full bath. You have 2 half bath, 2 car garage. Just under $1 million listing here. 1 acre of land, 3121 square feet. Gated community access with lake access as well. Professionally designed landscape, grand circular driveway, pool and spa feature lighting, a waterfall, a fountain. Freshly painted, beautiful property. In a state-style home, gorgeous property. Location, as you hear, on Magnolia Island. About only 29 homes in that community. It's a gem right here. 17416 Magnolia Island Boulevard, Claremont, Florida. You can see all of our real estate listings, and perhaps you're looking to buy, sell, invest, or refinance. Reach out. You can see all of our listings, and we'd love to talk to you and see our website at PlatinumMVPteam.kw.com. All right, Mark Haye, welcome back, sir.
Well, it's good to see you. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, man, blessed and highly favored, and gosh, so much going on in the news today.
So much. There's so much going on. One thing, though, the BOI reporting that keeps going on and off, that's off again.
It's off again.
That's off again, okay, guys? So that is off.
Just from the one out last night.
Yeah.
The beneficial ownership interest.
You got it. Now, I'm not opposed to the BOI. I think that it may be beneficial because there's a lot of shell companies, a lot of people that hide behind LLCs, and then all of a sudden they disappear. And what you just read off about
the SBA
loans.
Yeah.
I mean, who's getting those? What business is getting that? So I'm not against it. I don't think it's a terrible thing to have who owns these LLCs and where are they. You know what I mean?
I'm not against it, but I'm against the $500 a day penalty if you happen to forget.
Wild.
Come on, can we get a phone call first? Can we get a text message maybe?
But let's use the situation where Doge found out about Social Security and we're paying somebody that's 300 years old and 150. That stuff, that's what it's there for. Like, we need to identify who has what business, whose Social Security number goes to where.
Yes.
Where's the SBA loans going to? So I'm not totally against it, but just so everybody knows, it is now off again.
And, Mark, it comes back to common sense. A lot of these things come back to common sense, but as they say, common sense is not so common today.
Yeah, exactly. So we had a deadline of this week, and that's off too. But I figured we would talk about, the end of the year, wrapping up this tax season, and then go into the markets with these tariffs. And the markets obviously are declining, and people are kind of concerned about that. But just so everybody knows, in Florida, since we had a state of emergency last year with hurricanes, obviously you can extend your taxes all the way until 2026. But if you extend your taxes, you reduce your chance of an audit. So I always say all the time, why are you rushing to get this done? File an extension, and then come back to your advisor, your team, your CPA, and make sure that you got all your deductions in there for 2024 to legally reduce how much you're going to owe taxes. And we were just talking about the hurricanes. You can claim, losses from a hurricane, damages, anything that should happen, like the furniture that was left out on the side of the road for everybody that lost their furniture. All that stuff, you can claim all that on 4684, that form.
The tax code.
Yeah. So, just think about that stuff because people miss it. Oh man, we had to get all new furniture, or we had to put all new drywall up, or my shed got damaged, or fence came down. Make sure you're working with your CPA and your team to go through that, but file an extension.
Yeah, and
reduce the chance of audit, and come back to the table. Make sure you got all the deductions because you don't want to tip the IRS,
right?
You know what I mean, or overpay it.
And would you mind repeating when you first started talking about? So if you file an extension,
you reduce the liability of an audit. So just think about if you go in January, February, and throw in your tax returns.
You rush them in.
Great. You're at the top of the list now for an audit.
Got it.
If you file an extension, you go back to the bottom of the list, and they're going to work with the people that already put in.
Okay.
And then when you finally get to it next October, or even 2026, you're so far behind, they're already on to their next year, 2025.
You're at the bottom of the pile.
Right. Plus, they're cutting 50% of all the staff in the IRS. I'm just saying, I'm not saying you're not going to get audited, but it's just a reduction. Everybody should just do that.
The probability drops.
Yeah, it probability drops. So anytime you can get a reduction of audit, just do it. Something as simple as an extension. But really make sure that you sit down and start going through interest on credit cards, interest on mortgage. Did we have damage from a hurricane? Are we paying our kids? Should we be paying our kids? How do we do that? It's just stuff like that to wrap it up, but I would just encourage everybody to just file an extension on that.
Yeah, exactly. It makes sense. We're talking with Mark Haye, 21st Century Financial on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're always talking about tips and things that can, ideas that we say make you more street smart. And when we talk about that, Mark, when someone says, we're making you more street smart when it relates to finances, what else comes to mind?
Yeah, so we always look at, are you paying duplicate coverages with health insurance, life insurance, homeowner insurance, car insurance? Are you taking advantage of a higher deductible and a lower premium? Do you have an emergency fund? So we look at all that stuff, and especially like we just talked about taxes, you don't want to overpay the IRS and want to keep as much as you can. So all that stuff is just money in your pocket and cash flow.
Yeah.
And so one thing I wanted to come back on too now was the markets. I know a lot of people are freaking out because the markets have been declining in the last week or so, because of these tariffs that blame tariffs and blame Doge and blame whatever. Okay. Now, there is going to be growing pains.
Right.
I mean, any business, and the government is a business, it's not a charity. Any business that goes through a change, whether it's a CEO, upper management, we're going to start cutting, whatever positions, and we're going to cut expenses. We're not going to do this program. There's going to be, a repercussion to that. For every action, there's a reaction.
Yep.
Not to mention that our government was pumping in $60-80 billion a month into the stock market for the last 4 years.
Right.
They infused it with $1.5 trillion at COVID. Then they're pumping in billions every single month. Well, that stopped.
Yep.
So when that stops, natural is going to happen where not as much money is going to the market. Now it has to stabilize.
Yeah.
And the last 4 years really has been a lie. With the stock market,
you're on a sugar high.
Yeah,
like
it's just
kid
everybody
owns
just
candy.
keep pumping in the money. Markets goes up. There's no rhyme or reason why it continues to keep going up. It's not like that businesses were flourishing and everybody's pocketing money, but that stopped. And then you say, okay, well, what about this U.S. aid and all this stuff we're finding out? That all of a sudden it's money laundering and fraudulent activity.
Yep.
Well, when those people, and I don't know who it is yet, we won't name any, but politicians, world leaders, whoever, when those people stop getting the money, which have happened, they have to now do what? They have to sell off their stocks, their portfolio, because they don't have the money coming in anymore. And we saw in the last, a week or so, I think like $2 trillion left the market.
Right.
I wonder why.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder why. Because now all of a sudden we're finding $1 trillion. That's what they're going to say. We're going to find $1 trillion in a year. I think it's going to be more than that. Because the spending is so absurd.
Yeah.
That's going to cause a natural decline, which is a good thing. We need it to come back down to the truth. Like, here's what the market is worth.
Yep.
And now we move forward from there. But we can't just live in a lie forever and just print money and keep the market artificially, up.
Yeah, a good analogy or metaphor is where you have an aircraft carrier. These things are 600, 700, 800 feet long, right? And you're making small turns, and it takes a long time to turn that around. Whereas you have a ski boat, you turn around, you're whipping the guy in the tube behind you, the kids in the tube. Behind you, that's you're able to make a lot more nimble turns, and that's why an advantage to small businesses in a lot of cases, right? Because they're able to make faster turns and adapt to legislation or whatever type of environmental changes there might be.
Right, that's correct. Now, my position or my opinion is, we go through this Doge and we go through this government spending and we start cutting waste. I think when we come out of it, we're going to be better than we were.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay? People can disagree with me and whatever it is. So that being said, don't panic. Because the market's going down. Don't just start selling off because the market's going down, because I truly believe that we're going to come out on the better side of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that if you just hang on, the market will rebound. And I think the U.S. is going to be a place where you're going to want to put your money.
Absolutely.
Because if he doesn't and go through with these tariffs, and I just ran Canada just because it's been in the media for so long the last few weeks, and I ran the tariffs that they put on us.
Yeah.
Okay, and just give you guys a few: milk 270%, cheese 245%, butter 300%, chicken 238%, cars 25%, TVs 45%. Those are astronomical numbers.
And that's what had been happening
That's
all these years.
That's what's been happening.
It's
Okay,
terrible.
that's what we're doing. And now Donald Trump's saying, wait a second, why are we getting 270% tariff on milk or 25% on our vehicles and you pay nothing?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just going to do a 25% tariff on all across the board for you guys. We're still losing.
Yeah.
At 25, we're still losing.
Right.
And let's just take milk. Milk's 270. Okay, so we're going to put 25%. Okay, so you have 270.
Yeah.
So why don't you bring it down so it's actually competitive and not take advantage of America anymore?
Yeah.
And so people that get upset about it, you just have to think about, why is he doing it? Is he doing it to be a dictator? No, he's doing it because it's a business. And we are currently paying astronomical tariffs.
Yes.
Why don't we do the same to them? And then if we can intact that, and maybe we get a better deal. Maybe we can get lower tariffs on our products. Maybe we can sell more into Canada. Maybe we can get 25%.
Onshoring.
Yeah, you got it.
It's another
and
big
now,
one.
Yeah, and then now all people come to America, so they start building in America, not Mexico, not Canada, not overseas. And now all of a sudden we have Americans that are getting jobs again.
Yep.
I did steel, 25%, aluminum, 45%. That's the tariff that Canada imposes on us to bring our product there.
It has
it's
been
zero
for years
right
and years
now
and years.
for us, and Canada. So we want 25%. I don't think that is astronomical
No.
if you look at the numbers that we're paying.
Yeah. We're coming up against the break here, but Mark Haye's making a lot of sense there. 21st Century Financial. He can also help you. If you want to get a review, Mark can do a review of your financial statements, whatever you're paying in. A lot of people pull money out of a paycheck and put it into some type of a 401k, and they call that a retirement plan. We call it a good start, but the Mark's going to be able to take you to that next level. Talk with him. Reach out to the show hotline. Also, Mark, what you're talking about, President Trump is one of the few politicians that have actually signed the front of a paycheck, has owned a business, has operated multinational corporations. I wonder what the percentage of our politicians, Congress, we know their congressional approval ratings in the 20s, I believe, last I checked. But it'd be interesting to know what percentage of them actually ran a business, right? It's got to be in the teens.
Zero?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I was being lenient there within the teens, but yeah, exactly. So, these are decisions that people that have that mindset can make. I run a small business as a real estate team. You run your business, small business. When you make decisions based on meeting payroll and taking a look at inventories and those types of things, you see it from a whole nother perspective. Not just, let's pass this because now my constituents are going to be happy and I'm going to get reelected. That's what's been going on for decades.
Yep.
Taking a quick break, more with Mark Haye, 21st Century Financial. Also, who are the world's top 5 richest men? We're going to talk about that coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check us out online. Follow us online. We'd love to connect with you at BrandonRimes1 at CQB Show. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel, podcast, and Rumble as well. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rimes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, Brandon Rimes here. Did you know that we buy houses cash? We will close quickly and give you a fair offer on your home or residential properties, even commercial properties, and we will give you a fair cash offer, close quickly, and be diligent when you're shopping these types of scenarios, because a lot of the wholesalers, the flippers out there, they will sign you up on an as-is contract, and they will shop that contract and try to find a buyer, but they may not find the buyer, and they won't close. So this is Brandon Rimes, 813-917-1894, ConsumerQB.com. Brandon Rimes, we buy houses cash and fast. Attention business owners, did you know we have 100% financing options available? Our no money down program offers 100% financing for business owners. If you are currently leasing your commercial space, you can purchase real estate for no money down. Additionally, the program offers money for working capital, equipment, and business fixtures. You can even pay off current business debt. Reach out at 813-917-1894. That is my direct cell. You can call or text 813-917-1894. BRimes at KW.com. And that is our 100% financing, no money down program for business owners. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 813-917-1894. BRimes at KW.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Online at ConsumerQB.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rimes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. Shout out to our friends over at Brio Tuscan Grill, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Say hello to Chef Oscar Ramirez. Let him know you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. He's going to hook you up with a free appetizer. Just go over there and say hello to him. Brio Tuscan Grill, International Plaza Mall. Excellent food, wonderful ambiance, delicious, delicious food. All right, coming up, top 5 world's richest men. We're going to go through that with Mark Haye. He's our financial advising expert, all things related to financial advice. We want you talking to Mark Haye, 21st Century Financial. Coming up, Bruce Woodburn as well. We're going to talk with the Lone Ranger Cross Country Mortgage, find out what's going on in the mortgage and real estate space as well. A couple of hot listings here. Got a hot listing at Carriage Point Drive. This one's 8534 Carriage Point Drive, Gibsonton, Florida. You got East Hillsborough County. 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2 car garage, 1,780 square foot, single family home, gorgeous property on a premium corner lot, double gates for the recreational parking. Multiple patios, high-end laminate flooring, soaring ceilings, vaulted ceilings, newer roof on this property as well. Great opportunity at 8534 Carriage Point Drive, Gibsonton, Florida. Beautiful listing, great curb appeal there as well. Love that home. 221 Howard Drive, one of my favorite listings right now. This is a waterfront beauty. Bring your boats, bring your jet skis. 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, 3,500 square foot, single family home. $3 million listing from the Platinum MVP team. Aaron on our team does a great job with this listing. Just had a very successful brokers open. You have a 100 feet of water frontage on deep water access. Gorgeous 3-island kitchen with Thermador appliances. Bring your boats and jet skis and take a little cruise out into the Gulf of America. You can enjoy the waterways here in Tampa Bay. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, top 5 world's richest men. Mark, number 5. Going to take a guess on that? I think it's... Go ahead.
You got your boy Elon Musk.
Elon's number 1.
You're going to have Zuckerberg. You're going to have Warren Buffett.
Zuck's number 2. Buffett just fell out of the top 5.
Oh, did he really?
He's at 6.
Okay. Who's at 5?
You got Bernard Arnault and family.
Okay.
And you got number 4, Larry Ellison at Oracle. And you got number 3, Jeff Bezos, Amazon.
Oh, okay, yeah. Jeff Bezos.
So many boxes showing up at people's doors, man. I often joke about the cardboard box, investing in that the cardboard material back in the day.
Yeah, they did a good job with that one.
Yeah.
But no, unfortunately, they've seen their net worth decline.
Yeah, this is interesting, too. So Elon's number 1, $342.8 billion as of when this paper was printed. But $8.8 billion is the red arrow down, minus 2.5%. Down, and it's a shame too. People are going after his companies, sabotaging. Have you seen that in the news?
Yeah, I mean, let's say you don't want Elon Musk to be in charge of this Doge. Okay, who do you want? Mm-hmm. Like who would do it for free? Who would want to go through this scrutiny and go through this? And obviously, his life is being threatened. Okay, if you guys don't know that, I mean, he has serious. Right now, concerns with assassination. He's got security ramped up.
Yep.
And he's doing this all for free, and he's the richest guy in the world. So if I had to choose anybody, I guess I would want that person. I don't want a politician to look at themselves.
Tech support,
like
his shirt said, right?
Yeah, what we're going to hire...
It's a tech guy.
We're going to hire Nancy Pelosi and her husband to go audit themselves.
Perfect. That's
you know
what
I mean? Like, we're not going to do that. So... Get over it. I mean, Doge is being head by Elon Musk. No, he's not an elected politician. That's good because we don't want a politician doing it.
Right.
And they are finding an exorbitant amount of fraud.
Yeah.
Which, okay, that's good for the American people, but man, it infuriates me that my money has been going to, what they say, 75% is waste. That means 25% of my taxes are going to something that's worthwhile.
83% of here's a Marco Rubio. After 6 weeks of review, we're officially canceling 83% of the programs at USAID. 5,200 contracts are now canceled, spent tens of billions of dollars in ways that did not serve. And you know what's crazy, too, is some of it actually went to the
Trump
Taliban.
administration has also raised concerns over USAID funding making its way into the hands of American enemies. For example, federal prosecutors say up to $10 million worth of USAID funds went towards food for the Nusra Front, an al-Qaeda-linked terror group in Syria.
Terrible.
In Afghanistan, the White House says millions of taxpayer dollars went towards farming equipment and fertilizer used for poppy cultivation and heroin production, ultimately benefiting the Taliban.
Remember Jeff Foxworthy, the comedian, the redneck comedian?
Oh, yeah.
You might be a redneck if... You could do you might be an idiot if, you don't like the Doge collections, right? I mean, come on.
I mean, if I were a president, I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
I would go through each government agency. I would audit it.
Yep.
And I would say, where's the money going? Why? And I would like, for example, I saw there's 440 federal buildings now for sale.
Right.
Because of Doge.
Right.
440. Not just 440 buildings like operating, empty. 440 buildings empty that we're paying rent, mortgage, utilities, taxes, insurance, all that stuff. That's an insane amount of money that's just being wasted.
So personally and in your business, you could be missing out on some great programs. And Mark, talk about
and certainly, like I said, wrapping up the tax season. If anybody has any questions, happy to help. 727-804-7220.
xxifinancial.com, markhaye.com also, and you can see his contact all on our website at consumerqb.com. You can see links there to previous shows, contact our team, and we would love to put you in touch with Mark Haye. Mark, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
All right, coming up, Bruce Woodburn, the loan arranger, going to give you a real estate mortgage update coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. To the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, thank you so much for spending some time with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We really appreciate you, and it makes our day when you call the hotline and reach out, have your questions, and give us opportunities to buy and sell with us, and so many ways that we help you here on the show as well. We got Bruce Woodburn, the loan arranger, coming up here in just a moment. WeBringYouHome.com is his site. We're going to talk with him about what's happening in the real estate space, mortgage advice as well. Before we do, a couple of hot listings here from the Platinum MVP team. 8107 Sierra Manor Lane, gorgeous $1 million listing from the team here. This one's waterfront, 4-bedroom, 4-bath, 3-car garage, 2-story single-family home, 3,600 square foot on over an acre of land, 1.17 acres, beautiful private pool, spa. You have 130 feet of private water frontage, 6,000-pound boat lift in a private dock, heated pool, of course, 65-year transferable warranty on the metal roof as well. 8107 Sierra Manor Lane, one of my favorite listings right now. 10711 Old Sycamore Loop, great opportunity to buy real estate in Land O'Lakes, Florida. 4-bedroom, 2.5-bath, 2-car garage, 2046 square foot single family home, large fenced in backyard. You have ladder color on the kitchen cabinets there, tile flooring, split floor plan, great opportunity, beautiful home at 10711 Old Sycamore Loop, Land O'Lakes, Florida. Great opportunity to buy real estate. And you can see all of our listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.kw.com. All right, Bruce Woodburn, the loan arranger. Welcome back, sir.
All right.
Yeah.
Made in America.
That's right. That's the jam right there. Shout out to old Toby Keith. But, made in America, man, that's, a lot of American housing, and it leads to a great conversation to be had here. What are you seeing going on in the mortgage market, real estate market?
Well, I'm seeing interest rates starting to drop. I'm seeing, activity in the market. I am seeing people really jumping in the market. Brandon, are we getting a little feedback on here? Are you hearing that, or is it?
I do hear something. Yeah, I hear something, sir.
Yeah, I've got something's coming back where I can hear my own voice, but I think that stopped. Anyways, it's bad enough that I speak, let alone that I hear my own voice, isn't it?
We like hearing it, man, and especially I like hearing that rates are coming down a little bit. That's a trend we could surely use.
Down. You know what I heard the other day? Somebody called me and said, "Oh, I heard foreclosures were way up." And so I looked them up, and they were right. They went from 0 to 5, okay? So if you think way up, you're right. They're up 500%, but there's not that many foreclosures out there.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing people that have equity in their home, and yet they are struggling paying their bills. They've got to give the loan arranger a call so I can help them consolidate debt before they start making payments late. And I see people with equity that just got ahead of they spent too much on the Amazon.
Yeah.
And now they're in a position where they need a little bit of help. And I think that now is a good time to consolidate your debt. However, I don't think it's a good time to refinance if you're just trying to drop your rate or to eliminate PMI. I think there'll be a little bit better time around the corner. So I created this VIP watch list for my radio listeners, and now I'm adding on Brandon Rhymes radio listeners as well. If you want to get on my VIP watch list, I'll tell you when it's time to refinance. Don't let the internet or the phone solicitors do that for you.
I love that. That's a great idea because it's all about timing. And we've noticed, I've got an article here. How much home equity have you gained? The answer might surprise you. And I'm jumping down here to significant home price growth. Home prices have climbed dramatically in recent years. In fact, according to a federal housing agency, FHFA, over the past 5 years, home prices nationwide have risen by 57.4%. So that means equity's up, Bruce.
Means it's way up. It doesn't make any sense to be a renter. It makes no sense whatsoever to be a renter. Look at the equity position that you would have had if you would have bought a home 5 years ago and yet you stayed in the house and rented it. Would you say 57%?
That's right.
That's insane.
That's a national average.
To tell you, man.
Yep.
You just, and we know what? We probably have bigger averages
74.
in Florida.
74% in Florida.
That's incredible. That tells me to go out and buy some more real estate. And,
That's right.
It's like people complaining the stock market's down. Go buy some more stock. Now it's a good time to buy some stock. Mm-hmm. It's going to come back. Yep. If real estate slows down, buy more real estate. It's going to come back. It always does.
Yep, be greedy when others are fearful. That's what they say, right? So Bruce Woodburn, Cross Country Mortgage, the loan arranger. What makes you different, Bruce? Because people, I'm sure out there, they got a cousin that's doing these things. What makes you different? Why should people call you?
I think that's a really good question to ask somebody. I'll tell you what I think makes me different. First of all, I think that I'm still old-fashioned. We don't have a call center. You call my office, you get a human being. You get return phone calls. You get old-fashioned service. I still like meeting with people in person, although millennials don't want to. They want to do it all online. So I've got all the systems in place. But here's the thing. Cross Country Mortgage is now the number one retail lender in the country. 1 in 4 mortgages are a Cross Country Mortgage right now. 1 in 4 in the United States. That's big. So we have a lot of buying power. We have more loan programs than anyone could ever ask for. I've got loan programs, Brandon, I've never even heard of before. I'm like, we got that? Like, we came up with a reverse second mortgage. I've never even heard of it before.
Interesting.
A reverse second. I lot loans, new construction. I do VA construction perms, 100% financing. I've got every program, and since we're the largest, our buying power is the best, but yet we give that personalized small business service. We want you to know that we care. Matter of fact, I just left a closing. The lady came in here, and I didn't know it. She says, Bruce, I don't want to get pictures taken with you because my best friend's a loan officer, and I don't want her to know I didn't use her. I needed to use you, and I felt that you were the best choice for me. And I'm like, wow, what an honor that is.
That's great.
And that's what we do. That's what you and I do, because we're just simple guys, but we want to make sure that our clients are happy, and we give them the best advice.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think that we spend a great deal of time on the phone making sure people aren't making mistakes.
Yep. And we're students of the market. If you look at one of the counties here, Tampa Bay, Hillsborough County, one of the largest counties in the nation, by the way. If you look at the latest inventory, we're sitting right at a 5.5 month supply of inventory, which is a new high. So you have high inventory, meaning buyers have more options. They have more leverage. They have more power in this market. You got an 18% absorption rate. Talk about that a little bit. What's that mean when we say inventory's up?
I think that what that means to me is it's a buying signal, because think about this, folks. If you're a buyer, it's been a seller's market for the last 10 years. You don't even remember the last seller's market. We changed from a balanced market for about 3 months. Now we're in a buyer's market. That means you have more control. You have more properties to choose from. But since sellers have more competition, they have to get a little bit more reasonable about price, maybe paying closing costs, offering buy downs, doing repairs, putting on a new roof, fixing the plumbing or electrical. But buyers have opportunities. And if you're a move-up buyer, then you're a seller and a buyer. So you're going to have to get more realistic about the sale of your home, but you have opportunities on the purchase side of it. So this to me is just, it's a big win for buyers when it comes to this market. And I don't think it's going to last, because springtime is the biggest season for buying homes, and I think that inventory is going to dwindle back down again, and we'll be back in a balanced market again, which don't give buyers as much control.
Yeah, could be absolutely. Bruce Woodburn here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, Cross Country Mortgage, the Loan Arranger, WeBringYouHome.com. And Bruce, go ahead and give out your phone number in case they want to dial you direct.
Absolutely. You can call me at 813-213-4009. That's 813-213-4009. Listen to Brandon Rimes and Bruce Woodburn on the Loan Arranger Show on the Bone on Saturdays from 11 to 12. Brandon, thanks for having me on, and I look forward to you being a guest on my radio show.
Absolutely, my friend. I really appreciate you, and good nuggets today. Thank you.
Yep,
appreciate that.
Same to you.
All right.
Have a good one, folks.
Yep. And that's Bruce Woodburn, the Loan Arranger, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, does a great job working on our buyers, and when we're talking with our team, does a great job, very seamless transactions with Bruce and his team. They are seasoned professionals. Also, an interesting loan program a lot of people don't realize is called a 203H loan. It's dealing with natural disasters. So anybody out there that's still dealing with some of the effects of these hurricanes, 203H is a program that is designed for tenants, even if you don't own it. Yes, tenants. You think, well, how can that be? Well, you still have to qualify for the loan, but you can get 100% financing through the 203H loan program. Anybody dealing with natural disasters, so tenants, owners, people that are living in the home, the property, had to be demolished or something wrong with the home and where it's uninhabitable. So now you have 100% financing through the 203H loan program. And I realize it's interesting. Not a lot of people know that loan program exists out there. So it's very kind of an interesting play when you think about that. A good way for you to leverage and utilize other people's money. OPM, they say, utilizing other people's money, 100% financing. Quick shout out to our friend Lee over at Lee's Royal Services. He does a great job cleaning our real estate properties. Lee'sRoyalServices.com. Make sure you let him know the real estate quarterback sent you. Home and office cleaning, Lee'sRoyalServices.com on the interior of the property. Now, on the exterior, we've got a great provider as well, Heights Soft Wash. Ramin, as the owner, does a great job. HeightsSoftWash.com. All your pressure washing needs, driveways, porches, patios, fences, of course, the home itself. HeightsSoftWash.com. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Now, this is an interesting story, too. A federal judge rules in favor of Missouri in a $24 billion lawsuit against China for COVID-19. The state's Republican Attorney General says, quote, "We intend to collect every penny by seizing Chinese-owned assets, including farmland in Missouri," end quote. So, wow, what an interesting case, right? You think about the effects of the China virus coming across the sea and the devastation that it caused, not only with the deaths, but also, the financial losses that people were racking up and the mandates and the layoffs. So many interesting ways that we've seen that play out. That was what an interesting case that was. And then, when you think about small business loans, I often talk about Andrew QB. He's our commercial business loan guy. He does everything for our business owners out there, especially if you're a tenant. He has a great program called the Rent Replacement Program. Andrew QB with US Commercial and Business Capital. But this was another interesting Doge discovery. Elon Musk Doge said it identified nearly 5,600 SBA loans to borrowers who only listed owner as 11 years old or younger. And it's unclear what the money was used for. Right, yeah, that deserves a one of those, right? It's
things that make you go,
Yeah, exactly, that throwback song. But think about that. So Andrew does these SBA loans, and they're really strong program. It's 100% financing for business owners. And a lot of times business owners don't understand that, and they don't really understand the ramifications by just paying rent. Let's just say you're a $5,000 a month rent on your yoga studio or your engineering firm or possibly a law firm, right? $5,000 a month, multiply that times a year. I mean, you're talking $60,000 a year that you are foregoing in debt pay down, right? So in other words, I could have put $60,000 into paying down the debt on the building that my business operates in. Whereas I'm not taking advantage of tax write-offs. I'm not building up my own equity. And then also, when you think about selling businesses, as I mentioned before, I've got another real estate listing on Merricamp Road in Ocala, 9594 Southeast Merricamp Road. And when you think about that, you're foregoing all of that equity in the property, but you're also not selling like a complete package in a sense, because if a buyer is going to buy a property and they don't own the building, what are they really buying? Well, they're buying the cash flow. They're buying maybe the book of clientele that likes you, that likes the business. But a lot of times when that particular yoga instructor retires or whatever, part of the business kind of dies in a sense, right? They went because that was a charismatic trainer or, whatever the case may be in terms of the business owner. But they're also buying, if you own the building, now they're buying the building, they're buying the parking lot, they're buying that ingress and egress, the ability to get in and out of a property, a shopping center, etc. So these 100% financing business loans can really help you. But, Elon and Doge found 5,600 SBA loans to borrowers whose listed owner was 11 years or younger. So you talk about fraud, you talk about waste and abuse, man, they're finding it. And somebody was saying, I think Todd was mentioning, we hope we see some perp walks. You want to see people like shamed for this publicly, going to jail, having some type of a ramification, because so many times these people seem to be getting off with, scot-free or paying some kind of a civil penalty or something like that. But hey, we can have wishful thinking, I guess is what we would say. Quick break, coming right back. We're going to do our feel-good story of the day. Man, 87 years old, goes viral for delivering party invitations door to door. And his tagline is 4 p.m. until the cops arrive. Feel-good story of the day coming up. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon BRimes here for AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. My wife and I shifted a lot of our buying habits, and we wanted to support companies that support our values, patriotic, Christian, conservative companies. And you can find that online at AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. Now, what you're doing is you're not spending any new money. You're simply buying a lot of the common purchases that you're buying every month for the kitchen, the bathroom, your shampoos, your laundry detergent, all types of great essential oils, vitamins, herbs, those types of products. And for you beef lovers, we have great beef products as well. Tenderloin, sirloin steaks, grass-fed beef available as well. So check out AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. And I'd love to talk to you if you have any questions about it. There's also a business opportunity there for you as well. 813-917-1894. And thank you so much for supporting our company, AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon BRimes. You can reach me at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. That's consumerqb, like quarterback.com. Buying, selling, investing, or refinancing? We would love to talk to you. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon BRimes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Brandon BRimes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. A couple of hot listings, and we're going to jump into our feel-good story. We have a new listing here at 14135 Cypress Circle. Great opportunity to buy real estate here in beautiful Tampa Bay. This one is Cypress Clusters at Carrollwood Village. Villa-style condo. It's 14135 Cypress Circle, Tampa. 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-carport. You have 1,308 square foot single-family home. Kitchen with shaker-style cabinet, stainless steel appliances, tray ceiling, breakfast bar. Owner is motivated. Great opportunity there on Cypress Circle in beautiful Carrollwood, Florida. 4233 Oakfield Avenue, another listing. I think this is Jamie's listing on our team. Jamie is a hard-working real estate agent out there. She does a really awesome job for her clients. This one on Oakfield Avenue in Holiday, it's 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1-car garage, 1,121 square feet, fully remodeled in 2024. So you have a lot of updates, a lot of upgrades there. Minutes to the Gulf Coast. You have Anclote River, Fred Park, and just minutes to the Gulf of America. 4233 Oakfield Avenue in Holiday, Florida. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country. Tell me something good.
All right, here's our feel-good story of the day. This 87-year-old man goes viral for delivering party invitations door to door, and his quote was 4 p.m. until the cops arrive. So he says, in Pennsylvania, 87-year-old Doug Turner warmed hearts online with this quirky annual tradition, personally inviting neighbors to his celebration of winter party. When newcomer Michelle Hernandez shared their sweet exchange on TikTok, it went viral. Turner, who started hosting these gatherings with his late wife, sees them as a way to keep friendships alive. Now strangers are sending him handwritten letters embracing his love for old-fashioned correspondence. There you go, door to door. I love that. That's a great idea. And I'm going to welcome in Anthony Rickman, special guest. He's here early today on the Consumer Quarterback Show, the Rickman Law Firm. Welcome in, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Appreciate
man.
it.
While we got you on the air here, I wanted to get to this story. What an interesting story. It's not exactly criminal law, but federal judge rules in favor of Missouri in a $24 billion lawsuit against China for the COVID-19 pandemic. The state's Republican Attorney General says, we intend to collect every penny by seizing Chinese-owned assets, including farmland in Missouri. Your reaction?
Look, it's coming full circle. Look, at the end of the day, we knew where it came from day one. At the end of the day, our government covered up where it came from. We knew the origins from day one. And now we're starting to see with the new administration that we're holding China accountable. And we see local governments holding China accountable in any way they can. And we saw what's happening. China's buying up our country. They're buying up our farmland. Why are they doing that? We don't know why. We have our suspicions why, and now we see local governments, federal judges, holding China accountable any way they can. We see tariffs. We see, our government now shifting. We're not going to be bullied by China. We saw the problem. Think about it. 5 years ago today, or 5 years ago this week.
Wow.
Is coronavirus.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't believe. Wow. It seems like it was yesterday, but that really is 5 years ago that we were locked in our houses. I mean, remember where you were? It was like the streets were dead.
The China virus, the end of the world.
It was the end of the world.
Yeah.
Like, I Am Legend stuff. Yeah. I mean, it's like
zombies.
Think about what our world was 5 years ago today.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just so eerie to think about it. And,
terrible.
And here we are.
Let me flip it to something positive here, too, because Governor DeSantis, there's a lot in the news about Florida could stop or significantly reduce collecting property taxes.
And, these property taxes, it's like you buy a home, you buy land, maybe you buy the home outright, but maybe you pay off a mortgage over 30 years. And then, okay, you've paid off the mortgage, you bought the land, you've been taxed many times. It's like, is it your property or not? Just for being on your property, you got to write a check to the government every year. So I think that that's a big issue. And I know we're going to be really looking at ways to bring people relief from that, because I think it's been really something that's pinching a lot of homeowners, particularly seniors.
Yeah, it really is. It pinches a lot of people. And I reached out to Bernie Jacques. He's our local rep right here in Largo, Representative Bernie Jacques. He said, yes, I'm trying to with my bill HB 401 in the state of Florida. So they're working on that. They're crafting the language. They're doing the studies to figure out what's it going to impact, where are we going to cut, where's that going to come from. So your reaction?
I mean, look, Florida's been, we talk about COVID, Florida was open for business. I mean, people are moving to Florida for a reason, and this is another reason why. We see that Florida has been open because we don't tax like other states have. Yep. And this, again, shows, Florida's willingness not to tax our residents, not tax our citizens. And at the end of the day, you see that we are an overtaxed country. Yeah. We are a country that wants to tax our citizens. That's why people are moving out of New York. That's why they're moving out of California. That's why they're coming to the great state of Florida, because we protect our citizens. We protect their rights, and we're now moving away from a overtaxed state. Yeah. And moving away is another way that our government, our governor, is moving from an overtaxation to giving our citizens the ability not to pay taxes.
Yeah,
and it's a way to to take that burden away from our citizens.
Yeah, protecting themselves from economics, but also another state where you have constitutional carry and you can literally stand your ground. You can protect yourself, protect your life and your loved ones, right? With the use of a firearm. And maybe in tomorrow's show, we'll touch a little bit more on that.
Sounds great.
Yeah, man. Good stuff. How do people connect with you?
Anthony Rickman. You can find me at therickmanlawfirm.com, Rickman at therickmanlawfirm.com, 813-999-0502, 24 hours a day. If you get police talk to you, you get confronted by law enforcement, call me. Anytime, 24 hours a day.
Be careful what you say. That's right. Mark Haye. Hey, another great show. We had Mark Haye, 21st Century, Bruce Woodburn, the Lone Ranger, and, of course, Anthony Rickman coming in as well. Special guest on this one coming up. All right. Hey, another great show. Please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. We'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rimes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show.